Ready to fly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hometown Cable. Our Sunday program is here again. Our program is called What's Going On Here? My name is Bob Venn. Calvin Castine has the camera. You people who watch NBC know that there's a man named Willard Scott on the morning shows that always reads a letter and wishes a happy birthday to people who are 100 years old. Hometown Cable don't do that. We go to the residence of the people who are 100 years old. And today we're here to talk to Mrs. Mitchell. And your first name?
Florence.
Florence Mitchell. We're at 20 Clinton Street in Rouse's Point, New York. And Mrs. Mitchell will be 100 years old on the 23rd of February. She is the mother of Gloria Kavanaugh. And the mother-in-law of Francis Kavanaugh, who I got this information from. Good morning, Mrs. Mitchell.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, rather. I haven't been up very long, but so how does it feel to be nearly 100 years old?
Feel the
You
same.
feel the same? Do you have a good memory?
I sure have a good
You
memory.
have a good memory. What was your maiden name?
Roberts.
Robert. And she's closer to me for several reasons. Where were you born?
Champlain.
And where were you raised? Which house?
What house?
What house?
The house next to where I live.
Okay. She was raised next to Pauquette's, where my daughter, Dan and Sue Belrose, live today. Is where your father built that house?
My father did build by Mr. La Mountain.
The Mountain? What was your father and mother's name?
My father's.
Yeah, your father's first name.
Albert.
Albert?
Oh, my father?
Yeah, your father.
Albert.
And your mother?
Sarah.
And what was her maiden name?
Pichet.
Pichet. And there's some Pichet. You don't have any more Pichets in Champlain, but she was a Pichet.
She was the only family.
The only family, and you'll see their names up on the stones in our cemetery, you know. So, how many were there in your family, brothers and sisters?
I had two sisters and two brothers, but some had died.
Some had died now, yes. They're all died now? You have no brothers or sisters
I'm
living?
the only one left.
You're the only one left, huh? How long did you, when did you leave Champlain?
1926.
26. So you lived in that house for nearly 30 years?
No.
No?
I wasn't 30 years.
No? You were born in 1896, and you got married in 1926? No? 1914 you got married. Okay? 1914 your daughter says. All right. Your mother and father were both living when you got married?
Of course they were.
They were still alive, eh? Yes. Where did you get married?
Champlain.
At St. Mary's? And who did you marry?
I married Merrill Mitchell.
Merrill Mitchell. And where was he from Champlain?
Albert, Vermont.
How did you meet somebody from Alberg?
My sister got acquainted with him, and she introduced him
And
to
you
my house.
and you took him away from her?
No, she,
No.
she had her boyfriend, but she
Ah,
was
okay.
I was away with my father at the time, and she met him.
Uh-huh.
But when I came home, she introduced me to him.
Where did your father go? Like you say, you were away with your father. What did he do for a living?
He was on a boat.
Oh, he was one of the boatmen. Oh, the canal boats up and down
Yes.
the lake. And you used to go with him in the summer?
Yeah, I'm the only one that wanted to go.
So you were gone for weeks at a time?
Months.
Months at a time. What did you do on the boat? Cook?
Cook. Sew.
Did you handle the lines too?
Oh, yes.
You did?
I used to steer the boat
You did?
on the canal.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
So your mother didn't go on the boat?
She did for a long time. And then after a while, they decided my sister didn't like it. And my mother didn't like it. They were afraid of the water anyway.
Uh-huh.
So she, my sister, learned the milliner's shop, to make hats. So they bought a store. You got in your...
The sign.
Yes.
When my son-in-law was rebuilding the house, he completely gutted the house, took all the plumbing, the heating, the lighting out, and replaced all of the sheetrock where there was plaster. And under the back porch and under the newer kitchen, he found a big sign, a millinery sign. La Fountain? Robert? Okay.
Robert.
That was your sister.
Yes.
Okay, well, that explains the sign, Danny. Okay, so did you ever work out other than on the boat?
My father wouldn't let us work.
Wouldn't let you work out, huh?
My father was very strict.
Well, that's good. Look how long you lived. He did well. Did your father live very old?
It was it's the 7 or 8?
86? So it was in the family then.
My mother died as she was 72, I think.
Oh, your mother died younger, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So you went to school at St. Mary's?
Yes. Oh, no.
No?
And that was Mr. St. Maxon was a teacher.
Yes.
And he didn't teach in no convent. It was, you know where the,
Where the meat locker was?
Yes.
Yes, I know. That's right across from our Catholic church where Pampelon is
the
today.
sisters were teaching.
Yes, the sisters were teaching.
Yes.
Okay, in that building?
Yes.
Yes. And the sisters at that time, they had no convent, were living on the corner of Church and Cedar right across from the Grange Hall, right? They had that was their, that's where they were living.
You remember that?
No,
No.
But I heard about it.
Yeah.
I like history, Mrs. Mitchell. I find it very interesting talking to you. Do you have any of your classmates or friends then that are still living?
Sorry to say no.
Nobody left, huh?
My last friend died last year. Bernadette Lefebvre.
Okay, and she lived in Champlain at the time?
She was brought up in Champlain.
What was her maiden name?
Jefferson.
Jefferson, okay. Jeffrion, they used to call it, huh?
Yes.
Yes, the Jeffersons came from Champlain. I guess the Jeffersons from Rouse's Point mostly came from Champlain originally.
She lived on Church Street here.
Uh-huh.
She lived.
So did you go sliding and things like that? That's what you did when you were young?
Yeah, we didn't have any skis them days, but I used to stand up on my sled.
You stood on your sled with a rope and
my cousin would do that, and she'd fall off. I didn't fall off.
you never got hurt doing that?
I never fell.
You never did? Did you ever have a bone broken in your body over the years?
I did it myself in the basement.
You did?
Like 2 wrists.
Ooh.
At different times.
So is this the house that you came to when you first got married?
No. We live in Champlain. Hey, where your daughter...
Where my daughter lives?
No,
Next door? Okay.
And we lived there until 1926, then we moved here.
All right, 1920.
Well, my husband worked in Rose's Point. And my mother, she preferred that I wouldn't move, so I didn't move. So finally, I did move. She went away on the boat with my father for a trip, and with her.
Gloria, yeah.
She was little. And while she was gone,
you
sold
moved. Is that when you moved here?
Yeah.
Did you buy it right away?
No. We bought the land.
Oh, and you built it later?
Yes.
Ah.
We bought the land and we built right off.
Uh-huh. What did your husband do? What did Mr.
He worked on the railroad.
He retired from the railroad?
Was forced to retire. He fell off. He got hurt. He got hurt on the railroad.
Oh, dear. All right, we're going to take a sharp break. We'll come back and find out how many children Mrs. Mitchell had and a little bit more about this very interesting lady that most people in the area know because she's still out and around the village. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about she even cleans her own sidewalk here all by herself. She won't let Frank come over and do it. We'll be right back. Not only is this lady going to be 100 years old here by the time you see this probably, but she's been very, very healthy over the years. You've been very healthy, lady?
I don't take medicine.
It never takes medicine. And her only problem is, it's not a problem as you'd expect it, is her hearing has deteriorated a little bit. So sometimes she may not hear me completely and may give you an answer that don't fit. This lady has a very accurate and strong mind. How many children did you have, Mrs. Mitchell?
4.
All right, and Gloria?
Gloria, David,
David,
Merrill, Albert.
Albert, and who?
Merrill.
Merrill. Oh, Merrill, where is he? Is he still living?
He's in Denver. Yes, he's in Denver.
He's in Denver, okay. And Gloria Kavanaugh lives here. Dave Mitchell used to run the ski shop in
Yes.
Plattsburgh, married to Coonan,
Janet
Coonan from Champlain. Her father was
Darcy.
Darcy Coonan. And your other son, Albert, you said passed away?
Yes.
Albert passed away. All right, so have you ever been to Denver?
Yeah, a lot of times.
You have? How do you get to Denver?
Well, the last time I went,
By train.
By train? Yeah.
I went with some people that I didn't know.
Calamities.
Do you often go with people you don't know?
Well, she knew them.
She knew them.
Yeah, that was in 1970.
1970, yeah.
I came all by myself back.
Uh-huh. Have you that the last time you went?
Yes.
Does he come here? Have you seen your
Yeah,
son?
he comes every year.
Every year. Okay. So you have a bunch of grandchildren. I see here you have 4 children, 15 grandchildren. 15 grandchildren. All right. 25 great grandchildren, and 15 great grandchildren.
Yeah. And
All
still
right.
can't play ball with them.
Yeah. Do you do you have a great grandson named Garrett?
Yeah.
You do, huh? Yeah, Garrett Woodward. He knows me pretty well. He likes cars, and I've given him a few auto books.
give him
Yeah, I give him books,
Magazine.
right. And, of course, his mother is Kathy, Gloria's daughter, one of our teachers, still teaching. Yes, still teaching here. And very interesting people. Frank, of course, your son-in-law I worked with at Customs for a long, long time. Now, I heard along the way that you have borrowed things at times without permission. Do you ever borrow something without permission? Like a bicycle? Did you ever borrow a bicycle? Did you ever do that? What happened? Tell me about that.
Marie St. Maxon
Yes?
was my friend.
Yes?
She had a bicycle, and I didn't have one.
Yes?
So we must have been about 10 or 11 years old. And her brother was working at for the priest, a yard on the yard.
Yes?
So she let me have it. I'd never been on a bicycle.
She let you take her brother's bicycle? And you'd
Yes.
never been on one before?
No. You know where we went?
No.
Down the hill.
On Main Street? Church Street Hill?
We came down that hill. We were going like this.
Yeah. Well, you must have fallen.
No. But he was mad at me, started after me.
Was that, she Mrs. Ferdinand's
Ferdinand.
sister? So you had Ferdinand's bicycle?
Yes.
That's Mrs. St. Maxon, who still lives in Champlain, right across the street. Were they living across the street from
No,
you?
a little further down.
Okay.
They were going closer to Whiteside,
Okay, yeah, Whiteside's house is where the telephone is.
Yes.
Okay,
Not right close, but pretty close.
okay. Did you ever drive a car? Ever have a license?
Here.
You did? Yeah? Did you drive good?
Yeah.
You were?
Oh,
Good
yeah.
driver.
I didn't drive very much because my husband liked to steer all the time.
Oh, he'd steer it while you drove it?
Huh?
Did he steer it while you were driving?
No.
Oh, no.
He was gone.
Oh, yeah, he was gone when you drove it. Okay. Over the years, what else have you been active in? Did you belong to any organizations at church?
Just the Altar and Roses Society.
Okay, yeah. Did you ever work for any of the dinners at church or anything like
Oh,
that?
yes. I sold tickets.
Uh-huh.
I sold 100 tickets one day.
Is that right? Door to door?
Door to door in Plattsburgh, all over.
So, you never worked outside after you got married?
Never.
Never. You had plenty to do in the house.
Only one time, I was about 10, I guess. Mrs. Paquette,
From Champlain?
not this one.
Okay, another?
She was a Matat,
Yes.
Maggie Matat,
Yes.
and she was sick. She said, will you come and wash my dining room floors, just around like this? I said, yes. So I went. She wanted to pay me. I said, don't want no money. Take any money.
You could have had a lot of jobs doing that.
Yeah.
You could have. That's Miss Margaret was Mrs. William Paquette, Larry's mother. She was a Matat before she was married. And all right. I hear also Yeah, skating on the river. Did you go skating on the river?
Yeah, I like to skate. I didn't like to skate in circle.
You did like the circle?
I'd start from down the village and go Cooperville.
Is that right?
Yes.
Was there a lot of skating on the river?
Oh, yes.
Did you ever skate at night?
No.
No, your father wouldn't let you go out?
No.
No, he wouldn't let you go out, huh?
No,
But
not at night.
Were you tough on your kids like that, too?
If what?
Were you tough on your kids? Were you strict with your children?
Not so. She says yes.
You know, she says yes. You don't think you were?
Well, they didn't go across the street without asking permission.
Well, that's all right. No complaints about that. Things have changed today, Mrs. Mitchell.
If I had them today, I'd break their neck. Oh, forgot on television.
That's quite all right. There's nothing you said wrong, not a bit. We're here talking with Mrs. Florence Mitchell, 100 years old on February 23rd, 1966. And I also understand, I'm half crying here. I'm very interested. I understand you also do your own shoveling outside. Is that right?
Sure. Deep snow. But when it rained so much,
Yes.
it was all water, and it was about that thick. So I wanted to go out and take it off. I took a hoe, and I chopped it. It took me an hour and a half from my porch to the sidewalk.
And you did it all at one time?
Clean it all.
How is your heart? Heart is good?
Didn't bother me.
Is it a soft heart or a hard heart?
They say I don't have a heart.
What a pleasure it is. We'll take a short break because I'm kind of breaking up here, and we'll be right back. You're talking and watching Hometown Cable. What's going on here? Regular Sunday program, and this is a delightful interview.
Frank's gone, huh?
Yeah,
Right, we are now. Yeah. You got to realize how long 100 years is. So when you were growing up, did you have electricity?
Yes.
You did? Not when you were born.
No, there was electricity in our new house, not
Okay.
in the other one.
Not in the other house. Okay, yeah. And I heard your mother liked to entertain.
Yes.
How did she do that?
What, she'd make big suppers
Yes, at the house?
at the house, and she would have the orchestra to play to entertain the people
While they were there to eat?
while they were eating.
She'd hire an orchestra?
Yeah.
How many people would there be?
Well, I
Four?
don't know, charter. They were friends.
Okay, all right, yeah.
One name was a Mr. McGregor. He played the piano. And Mr. Severin,
The Severin, yeah, there was a Henry Severin.
he played some instrument, but I don't remember which.
Uh-huh.
And those two I remember. The others, I can't remember the other name.
Did you ever play piano or anything?
I played at it. My sister played good.
Your sister, you never played?
I played secondhand.
Second, did you know how to do dishes? Did you ever wash dishes when you were
Sure.
growing up? Yes.
Sure, I was.
Do you remember your first movie that you ever saw? First in a movie house? You know, going to the theater? Do you remember going to a movie?
We used to go to movies.
You remember the first one?
I think the first one was when I went with my grandfather and grandmother on the boat on a trip, and it was in Whitehall,
Okay.
and that's the first time I went to the movies.
Where would you go when you were going out with your boyfriend when you first started going out with Mr. Mitchell? Where can you go when you leave the house? Could you leave the house?
Oh, yes, I'm not a prisoner.
Okay, no, but where did you go? Had a horse and buggy or a car?
Oh, we'd go for walks,
Okay.
and then we'd go to the movies. They
In-
did have movies.
In Champlain?
Yes.
Where was the movie? Do you remember?
Where the bank is?
Yes?
There was a little hardware, not hardware, but furniture store.
Yes?
So my cousin that had that store.
Okay, that would be about where the KFC is today, the Knights of Columbus, near Clark's funeral home.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
Okay.
between the LaFontaine
Yes.
house.
Okay.
Louis LaFontaine. The first house after that was Louis LaFontaine.
Noe LaFountain?
Louis.
Louis LaFountain, right?
He worked in the bank.
Do you remember some of the stores in Champlain back when you were growing up?
I have a picture somewhere.
You do? Do you remember there was a Glode that had a store? You remember Noe Glode?
There was no Glode. They had the first store facing the convent.
Okay, yeah. What kind of merchandise did he sell?
He had groceries, and he had meat.
Yeah. Could you buy ice cream there?
No ice cream.
No ice cream, huh?
No.
Candy?
No,
No candy.
no.
No?
He just had meat, a few groceries.
Yeah. And a Mr. St. Maxon's had a store too?
Yeah, he had a small store.
Okay. And where else did you do in town? Where else did you go? What other things were in Champlain? Do you remember?
There wasn't much place to go.
There wasn't many places to
No.
go, huh? What about the dinners that the church used to have? Did you go to those?
Yes, my mother used to make them dinners herself.
She did.
She was the head of it.
Uh-huh. You know, when we were talking here, you're looking over just to the side, this commode over there, is that a commode, I guess we call it, that was your mother's, you told me?
Yeah.
And there was the more of the bedroom set, that's,
There was something on the top, to put.
oh yes, for a towel in the back.
Yeah.
Yep. Those were very prominent back there, very collectible today, and that's an original. That was her mom's. And talking about originals, the TV behind me, you see this little TV, but before that, the pictures were not square, they were round, and this is a Dumont television, probably from the 50s, 1950s probably, in the cabinet. And I remember a Dumont, I bought a Dumont in about 1955, and it had a 2-year guarantee, the only one in the industry. Was a
That from
Jefferson, a very outstanding set, the Dumont. And probably email Jefferson in Champlain? Exactly. That's where the Clinton Auto Parts are today in Champlain. Email Jefferson, who was Mrs. Daniel Marr, Vanita's mother and father. She was Vanita Marr's father, wasn't he?
Who?
His daughter was Vanita Marr.
Yes.
Married Mr. Marr. All right. I was told here that you once fell. You tripped yourself on the rug here with your high heel. You don't want to talk about that? You don't want to talk about that. All right. You didn't get any medicine for that? No medicine. What else? What do you want to talk about? What can you tell me here in the house? All right, I'll tell you what you can talk about. What car?
It's got with my pictures.
How you create the car?
The picture on the screen, frozen there, is a picture of a it's a Star car, S-T-A-R, right? That was your car, Mrs. Mitchell. And is that you drive? Who is driving? Is that you? That's Mrs. Mitchell in the front seat, driving, or at least stops. The wheels aren't turning, so she's stopped right now. Do you remember when that picture was taken? You don't remember when that was taken.
When?
Do you remember that day? You don't remember the date, of course not. But anyway, that's the picture of the car that they owned. And one other picture I wanted to show you here is a picture of the home, the Roberts homestead on Main Street, which is just south of Celine Paquette's house, that my daughter owns today. This is when it was in its prime, and it had the nice porch, and it had a porch all around it. This picture is looking with Paquette's in the background. And who is in this picture? Is that your father? You remember?
That's a woman.
That's a woman? I beg your pardon. I can't even see good. All right. It's a woman. Is that your mother?
No.
No? All right. It shows a picture of the home there on the Main Street. And, well, all right.
I can't place
You
it.
can't place who she is. Okay.
Somebody visiting us.
Did you go to many dances when you were young? Did you go to
I
dances?
didn't like to dance.
You didn't like to
I
dance?
only like to skate.
Skate.
Skate and slide.
Yeah. So where did you slide? On the hill next to the church?
Yes, in our gully.
Oh, yes, in the back.
That's where I went.
You know, did your father, I heard, raise tobacco? Do you remember that? No?
No.
I heard he...
Maybe he did. Maybe he
You
did. I
don't
know.
remember that. You don't remember.
I came.
He did, Gloria says. Would you like to get Gloria on TV, too, with us?
Yes.
You'd like to, huh? Yeah, no? You don't want to get on, Gloria? Gloria don't want to be on TV. She wants you to be on, but she won't be
I
on.
forgot myself and I have crazy.
Huh? No, that's fine. No, that's fine. So what do you do now? You live here all alone in your home?
Yes. You shouldn't say it.
Well, have you ever fallen very much? Aren't you worried about falling?
Never worry.
You don't worry about it, huh?
God takes care of me.
God takes care of you. You do your own cooking?
Sure. I cook for others too.
What do you
I
mean
did-
others? They
I
come
did
here to
dinners.
eat with you?
No, but I mean, when I at the camp, I had
You help Gloria, do you?
before they left for Florida, we had
She cooks meals for about 30 people in the summertime
Where?
out at camp.
Oh, you go out at camp and you cook at camp? Whose camp is that out there?
mine.
You have a camp?
I've got a picture. I've got a big camp. I take care of that too.
How long have you had a camp?
1951 or two.
Do you remember what were the happy times when your kids were growing up? You remember what you used to do? What did you do on Sundays when the kids were growing?
My husband worked on Sunday.
He worked on Sunday. I hear Gloria said you played cards.
Oh yes, we played cards.
What kind of card games?
Oh, pinochle, 500. But later on years, we played canasta
Uh-huh.
and a lot of other games.
Uh-huh.
I like canasta.
You like canasta? People don't play cards. They watch TV a lot now, don't they? You watch much TV?
I hate TV.
You hate TV, huh?
Because there's nothing, these are immoral.
You find them immoral, a lot of it?
Yes.
You do, huh?
It hurts my eyes to look at it. My heart too.
We'll take another short break and we'll be right back. We're talking with Mrs. Florence Mitchell in Rouse's Point, New York. 100 years old. And Willard Scott, you must be jealous. We're just hitting questions here, so bear with us, please. And I was going to ask you, like, when you were young, there weren't many cars on the roads, right?
No.
And you said, you were telling me that the
No.
first car?
The first car was Ralph Lewis and Willie LaFountain. They had the first cars.
The first cars in Champlain.
Yes,
Now,
that I remember.
were the roads paved or were they dirt?
The roads were mud.
Mud, huh?
Mud.
What year would that be, would you think?
Oh gosh, I was real young.
Yeah. It's tough to get the years. All right. Yeah, you weren't married.
Oh, I was a little girl.
Little girl, okay.
Very small.
Okay. Were there a lot of horses, buggies?
Yes, horses.
Did your dad had a horse and buggy?
No,
How did he get it to go anywhere?
he didn't have to go anywhere.
Because he was on the boat.
Yeah.
Or he didn't go anywhere, yeah. Do you remember, did you have a central heating or did you have a wood stove
Where?
at home?
At my house?
Yeah.
We had a furnace.
A furnace with wood? Must have been they burned
No.
wood? Or
Coal.
Coal. You burned coal at the time.
Did you mean when I was a kid?
No, yes, when you were a kid, yes.
Well, when we first lived the other house, the first, where your daughter lived.
Yes?
No, not where she lived, but the next door. We had wood and coal.
Uh-huh.
When we moved to the other new house, we had a furnace.
Did brothers and sisters ever fight back when you were young?
No.
Never fought, huh?
That fight.
Not at all. You kissed each other all the time?
Huh?
You were always kissing each other and
Oh, we didn't
holding it.
kiss
You
them.
didn't kiss? But you didn't fight either?
No.
Did you play games? What kind of games did you play? Did you play cards at home?
We played cards. And then there was those tiddlywink.
Oh, yeah, the tiddlywink. What's a tiddlywink? How did that work?
You put a little glass in the center of the table.
Yes.
And there was a little, they made like little,
Like the size of a coin, a dime, or,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
but the one that you push on.
Yep,
Push on this and then.
yep. And it would just a little tiny, and you would hit it on the edge and snap it, and it would fly up, and
Yeah.
and there were different colors, right?
There were red, green, white,
Yeah.
yellow.
Did they play Monopoly back then? Did you have no Monopoly game? Dominoes,
Yes.
bingo. Did you play bingo at home?
No.
No bingos, huh?
Bingo. They
Yeah.
probably didn't know what it
Didn't
was.
know, didn't know what it was then. Huh? There weren't as many houses either. There weren't many houses A lot of the houses there today weren't built when you were young, correct? All right. Did you play with the white side children at all?
No, they were too far away.
They were too far away for you, huh? All right. Who was the doctors in town? Do you remember the doctors?
Dr. Briggs.
Briggs was in Champlain, yes. Anybody else you
There
can...
was Dr. Hackett.
Okay, and he lived where the convent is, right? Where the school is,
Yes,
on the hill. Before St. Mary's built there, that was Dr. Hackett.
Dr. Hackett.
Yeah, and he went around with horse and buggy or with a cutter in the winter to go to see people? You didn't... Excuse me, he went to people's houses. He made house calls.
Yes.
They made house calls, yeah. You told us off camera that you once were visiting your son in Plattsburgh, and you went to the movies, and you won something. You won some money in Plattsburgh.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
We did.
You did?
Did we?
Well, no, you didn't on camera. You didn't tell us on camera. You went to the movies. All right. We talked about it off camera, so we won't talk about it now. How come you rode on the train? You went on the train for trips? When the kids were small, you went to Albany to buy their clothes?
Yes. Especially that time I won that money.
Okay, when you won the money at the theater, you won $100.
Yes.
That was a lot of money, wasn't it?
Them days it was.
Yeah.
Especially winning it.
Yes, because it was a big surprise. It was just a lot of money. People have to realize in those times, the people who are younger, it just wasn't that kind of money around.
When they called my name, my daughter-in-law kept pushing. They said, get up, and see that you're here.
Yeah.
I said, I'll get it. I'm not going to have to get up
Yeah.
now.
You must.
So-
Your heart must have been pounding.
My heart's always steady.
It is always steady. It is, huh?
It doesn't get excited.
Okay. Do you remember the priests when you were young?
Father Choyon,
Father Choyon, huh?
he had no teeth.
No teeth, no?
He was a saint.
Were masses longer back then than they are now? They had long masses?
Well, kind of.
Kind of long, huh? But you went to church every Sunday?
Yes.
You bet.
More than Sunday.
More than Sundays? Yes.
I used to go, we'd be playing around with the kids, on the yard, and all of a sudden it come in my mind, I got to go to church and make the station of the cross. So
Yeah.
I'd leave them and I'd run to church. And I was scared to be alone, but still I made my station.
How old were you then? About how old?
Maybe 8 or 9.
8 or 9 years old, you went to church like that? Yes. Your father and mother liked that, I imagine.
Daddy let me go.
Yes, he let you go to church anytime you wanted?
Yes.
Did you ever think of becoming a nun?
Huh?
Did you ever think of becoming a nun or a sister?
I would have liked to have been a nun or a nurse.
A nurse?
But like I say, my father was stay home.
Okay, you'd like to have been a nurse? Yes.
Yes. I've been a nurse to my family instead.
Yes, and to yourself. But you've been very blessed by having good health. You've had very
Yeah.
good health.
It doesn't go from me, it comes from God.
Comes from God, yes. You're still very religious? You still say your prayers?
Huh.
Yes.
I've got a lot of prayers.
A lot of prayers, yes. People don't go to church like they used to go.
No.
And they go to see what people are wearing sometime today.
Huh, they don't have to go. All they wear is those slack and those.
Yeah. Did you ever go in church without something on your head?
Yes.
Today, but you didn't back then.
I don't go today.
You don't go with you know. Okay, we're talking about Mrs. Mitchell. Take a short break, and we'll be back. The good-looking gentleman on the screen is your husband. That's your husband, Merrill Mitchell, and he passed away. I heard Gloria say in 1968.
Yes.
How old was he?
72.
72.
I think.
He was about your age then, wasn't he?
It was
Same
a year
age?
older.
Year older than you, yes. Now, he's got a nice tie on here. He didn't go to work with a tie, did he?
No.
What did he do for the railroad? What kind of work?
Oh, he was a gang leader.
And a car knocker.
Car knocker. What's a car knocker?
No.
What do they do? Not a car knocker?
He was a boss for a while on the railroad.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
But I can't-
That's a hard work out there in the cold,
Yes.
huh? He was glad to get home, I imagine. Did he always work days?
He worked from 4 o'clock till 12.
Oh, at night.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes he worked on Sunday
Uh-huh.
during the daytime.
But you had a good living. You made a good living,
Yeah.
right? And you still get a pension from the railroad yourself, right? Yeah, she's gonna break. You're gonna break the railroad here at 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still collecting, huh?
But the insurance,
Yes.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield, I never go to use it.
You don't. You are so fortunate. You are so fortunate. Yes. Now the Roberts have always worked on the boats way back. Your
Yes.
parents and your uncles, they were the big family in Champlain on the boats, right?
Yes.
Did they ever build boats at all?
No.
They never built them. They were just up and down the waters, huh?
They corked the boat.
Yes.
There was a ballot.
Yeah. Did your dad own his own boat?
Yes.
He owned his own, huh? He owned the tugboat or the canal boat?
Canal boat.
The canal boat.
My brother David had tugboat
Okay.
from Whitehall to Waterford.
He owned the
To
tugboats.
Troy.
Yeah. She brings up another name now. Dave Roberts, people in Champlain that 50 years old or so or more will remember Dave Roberts. That for a while he ran the bowling alley just across from the old bank near the KFC, and his son Donald, who now lives in Messina. David was her brother, and Donald her nephew, and it was very pleasant to have them over to my daughter's house just after they moved in, and she was reminiscing about the rooms in the house and the double stairways and how she used to go. Gloria mentioned how she used to go see her grandmother there, and she'd run up and down the stairs and said her grandmother didn't correct you either, did she? She'd spoil you like everything going up and down the stairs. Mrs. Mitchell, we thank you very, very much. We thank you for talking with us. We're all done. Is that good? We're just about done.
Yeah.
Is this worse than going to a doctor? You don't know. You don't know. You don't go to doctors.
If I go to the doctor, I tell. One time I had her.
Yeah, yes, all right. Yeah, you had what? You want to tell us? No? Okay. You don't want to. She forgets when she don't see the camera on. See, all right. I heard one time you took an aspirin and it bothered you?
Yeah.
You don't take aspirins.
That's years and years ago.
It's impossible.
And this lady said, take this aspirin. I went to the Grand Union store, and the floor got off under my feet, and I went on the counter. That was it.
That was it. You needed an aspirin.
The doctor says I'm allergic to medicine. I can't take medicine.
Well, no, you're not used to it.
There's a woman here, she says, that's why that you're healthy, because God knows you can't take medicine.
Don't drink either.
You don't drink either,
I
huh?
forget.
That's all right. You haven't said anything bad. Now, you have been a friend with Mrs. Ingalls for years. Mrs. Ingalls, is that her name? What's Jerry's mother's name, right?
Oh, no, she doesn't really, she knows her.
They're not friends. All right.
They're friends, so I mean, she doesn't know her that well.
Okay. We were talking about another lady in town that's in her 90s here. So, okay. All right. So we'll take a short break right now, and then we're going to close off here at Hometown Cable. You've been watching Mrs. Merrill Mitchell, Florence. Was Florence Roberts from Champlain, New York. She'll be 100 February 23rd. If you got an extra birthday card, why don't you send a birthday card to this very pleasant lady, Florence Mitchell, 20 Clinton Street, Rouse's Point, New York, 12979. She's going to get a lot of cards, and she'll be very, very happy because she reads very well, right? You read very well.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still read books and papers?
Why not?
Well, I don't know. You do.
I don't feel any different.
Do you know what people usually do when we finish? They make us a nice steak dinner. Have you got a steak dinner already? You don't have it ready?
No, my steaks are very small.
Oh, and we can split it. Calvin and I will split one. Thank you very much for watching.
Next summer at the camp.
Next summer at camp. We've been delayed till next summer.
You come and spend the afternoon.
All right,
and have supper with us.
We'll do that.
With your wife.
Okay. Thank you very much. Florence Mitchell.
An invitation, Gloria, for next summer.
Hometown Cable. We'll see you next Sunday with new and different things. Thanks for tuning in.